in education in particular, we've been a little late to the game to start looking at big data. I also, though, think that just in terms of using the terminology, that when we talk about big data in education, that it's probably an incorrect term because when we are gathering data in education, it's not big. It's maybe varied. It may cross different areas, but in actual terms of big data, only when we aggregate data from many schools does it become big. But I also think that the more we have, the more data we have, the better we can serve our students. The problem as far as making us smarter is whether or not the administration uses the data that's collected. And I think many times there are pieces of data, there's information that's gathered, but the administration doesn't make any changes with the students. So yes, it can make us all smarter, it can make society smarter, but only if it's actually defined properly and if it's actually acted upon. One of the great things that we're seeing today is more opportunities for students to access that data, so that, like when you shop on Amazon and it says people like you bought this, well, if I'm a student and there's data to tell me that other students like me in the same major, come from the same background, come from the same high schools or secondary schools, and that those students tend to need more help at this point, I could pay attention to that and I could get the help I needed. What we have to do is make sure that everyone is educated as far as what's going to happen to the data. And in the US, it's a very important issue as well. Privacy, student privacy. It's an issue for faculty privacy, because the institution, I guess this is one of those things where having too much data or too many data, if not used correctly, it can be used in very bad ways. And so I think there needs to be more, I don't like regulations, but more education and understanding of how to best use data for the better of students and faculty. So it is a big issue everywhere, but I also don't think you should stop collecting data because you're worried about privacy. We've got to figure out a way for those to work together.